Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I'm going to make taco soup in a crock pot for supper. It's actually fairly late in the afternoon, so I'm late getting started on this, but it is what it is. The day has gotten away on me. My daughter and I both had to work the school lunch program today, and then I had to come home. I had a doctor's appointment by Zoom, and then immediately as soon as I finished that, then it was off to a lab to get some blood work done for my daughter. So it's been a bit of a crazy day. It's the last of my 4 days off. And as we all know, my days off are never really days off. I'm going to start by getting this hamburger started. What I need for this recipe is I need a can of chili style tomatoes, 3 cans of pinto beans, which I will drain, and a can of the Hunt's tomato sauce, onions, herbs, and spices, a can of whole kernel corn, a can of diced tomatoes with Italian spices. I may not use the entire can. I think it's a slightly smaller can that I usually use. I usually use, it doesn't say what size, but I'm pretty sure. I remember the original recipe when I got it off somebody else on YouTube. I think it was a smaller can than this, but this is the size it comes. So I just usually use a little bit less. A package of taco seasoning and a package of dry ranch dressing. And of course my hamburger. Oops, that in there, the bit that came out. And rather than cook it with an onion, because I don't like chunks of onion in my food, I'm going to use just some onion powder to season it. And once that is cooked, I will drain it, and then I also have to drain the juice off the pinto beans as well. So let me get this going. The last video, or last time I filmed, I think I said that the next day, like on the weekend, I was going to cook up a couple of chickens and make some pie crusts from scratch and make chicken pot pies. That did not happen. I got the chickens in the oven, but my pie crust, which I was trying to film me making, was a complete and utter bust. I don't know if it's because I was filming and I got self-conscious. I don't know. All I know is I have struggled with making pie crusts from scratch for years and years and years, and to the point that I didn't even try for a good 20 years. I just bought store-bought ones, which is okay, but I decided earlier this year to try again. And I made one batch with using the recipe off the Tender Flake lard package, and it worked okay. And then the next time I did it, it was a fail. I don't know what I did wrong, but I don't think I used enough liquid in that one. And so this time around, I used a recipe that somebody else gave me, who I've known and respected a lot of years, and all of her recipes are usually really, really good. And it also used Tender Flake, but instead of water, it used milk. And she said, don't skimp on the liquids, use the whole amount of liquid, you know, whatever. And so that particular day I made them, no problem. Pie crust turned out perfectly, and I thought, I've got this. And I don't know if it's a pattern where it seems like every second batch is a flop or what, because the next time I did it, which was this last weekend, it was terrible. I ended up junking that batch, and I hate to waste food, but it was just desperately bad. I used the amount of liquid it called for. It was way too liquidy. I don't know if I left the lard sit at room temperature too long, and so it was just too soft, like too melty. But I didn't. I used the exact same recipe as last time. Same amount of liquid, same amount of flour, and it was a complete failure. So I think what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to still buy a few frozen pie crusts and keep them in the freezer. And on days that I'm ambitious to try and make pies, I will try and make pastry. And if it's a fail, then at least I have the frozen crust as a backup. Because as it stood, I had 2 whole chickens cooked and nothing to do with them. I mean, we still ate them, but the intention was I would have only made 1 chicken if I knew that was going to happen. I just had that 1 chicken for a meal. But the idea was I was trying to make 2, so I'd have enough meat to put in 3 different batches of chicken pot pie. 1 to eat that day and 2 to freeze, because each batch requires 2 cups of chicken. So here I am sitting there going, okay, well now I can't make the chicken pot pie, and I've cooked these 2 chickens for nothing. So still ate the chicken slowly over the last couple of days, but it was not what I planned to do at all. So I think when I go get groceries, I get paid later this week, and I'm going to get groceries probably on Friday. I'll probably do a grocery haul then. I will grab some frozen ones just to have on hand, and then should I ever be making, whether it's a fruit pie or chicken pot pies or whatever, again, and my pastry doesn't turn out, at least I'll have some frozen crusts in the freezer I can pull out as a backup. Because that was silly. Like, it just, I don't know, it was just so, it went so badly wrong that day. And I don't even know why. But it was just not good. My towel fell on the floor here. So, it's weird. It's almost like every second batch of pastry is bad. The first one I tried in the spring, using the traditional tender plate recipe, not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. Second go around, terrible. My top crust for the one pie looks more like a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle, not a top pie crust. Then I switched to this other recipe with the milk. Worked beautifully, not a single issue. And then I go to do it this weekend, again, every second batch. Absolutely complete flop. Now a lot of people are also saying that it's humidity in the air can make a difference, and that may well be, but I don't know. I had taken a lard out of the fridge and let it soften at room temperature overnight, so maybe some people have said that, you know, they've kept their lard in the freezer or whatever because, you know, like their hands are too warm and it kind of melts the fat, like melts the shortening. So maybe that's what I did. I don't know. All I know is it was a complete flop. And I was having, that was Sunday. I was having a rough afternoon Sunday. Anyway, Sunday morning had been good at church, but then at home that afternoon things weren't going well. So I was already flustered and stressed. And I kept re-rolling it back into a ball and trying again to re-roll it out. And it was just to the point where the more I do this, the worse it's going to get. So just leave it alone. Do it another day. I mean, I was texting my friend who gave me the recipe, and she said, okay, don't worry about it, it's fine, you have to chill it. So once you get the dough made into a ball, chill it in the fridge. Don't give up yet. And I did. I chilled it for a couple hours, and it helped a little bit, but still, as I was rolling it out, it was ripping and tearing, and it was just... This goes all the way back to my first marriage, when I was trying to make pie crust from scratch because I was trying to be like my mother-in-law, who I really looked up to and respected. And sometimes I did okay, but a lot of times it was really bad. And my ex-husband really kept comparing me to her. And I was like, you know what, like I loved her and I did respect her and I did want to be like her. But the more I realized I was having trouble, the more I realized, like, I can't. Like, you can't always compare me to her because, like, I'm me. I couldn't sew like she could. I couldn't quilt like she could. You know, and apparently pastry is not really my strong suit either, like, even though it was for her. Now, I am still a pretty good cook and a good baker in other ways, but pastry seems to be something that doesn't come easily to me. But I do other things well. I mean, I cook and bake other things very well. I make pretty good jam. I mean, obviously, I've been doing that since 1994, and it's now to the point that some people order it from me even. I mean, I've had only one person complain about it ever, and that person is somebody that complains about everything, so take that with a grain of salt. And... you know, I mean, I'm a pretty decent photographer. Global Winnipeg has featured several of my photography, several of my pictures I've taken since 2015 to present on their news broadcast as well as on their Facebook page. I'm a pretty good singer. I've been singing since 1985, publicly. So there's things I'm just not good at all, like sewing. And there's some things like pastry that I do okay at, but I struggle with. But I make up for it in that I'm good at some other things. Or I try to anyway. Okay, so this meat is pretty well ready. So I think I'm going to just drain the fat off of it. And then I've got to get these cans of pinto beans drained. I'm going to unplug something from here because I got to plug my Crockpot in. It's already 4:07. Even if I put it on high right now, it's not going to be ready till like 7:30, but that's okay. This is just how today has gone. I slept in a bit this morning prior to working at the lunch program because I've had a rough couple of days. Allowed myself that luxury of sleeping, and I'm just going to turn it on low to warm it up. And if supper's a bit late tonight, it's a bit late. But it's going to be a decent enough size batch, so this will feed us for a couple of days, which is good because I've had a few days off Sobeys, and now tomorrow I'm back to work there for Wednesday, Thursday. So this will take care of supper for at least today and tomorrow. So let me go drain the fat off this. And then I've got to drain the juice off the pinto beans. Let me do that and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. I realize now I've drained the fat off the ground beef and I put it in here. And I realized that in my seasoning I did not bother putting any garlic powder or salt and pepper. So I'm going to sprinkle that on the top, mix it in. Because I guess because I got busy chatting with you guys, I kind of got distracted and forgot that that's a step. I also haven't made this more than a handful of times either. I did get this from another YouTuber quite some time back. Okay, the ground beef is in there. I have to do the pinto bean, drained pinto beans. Okay, so I'm going to do those first here. Add those 1 can at a time. I know that's off camera that I'm opening it, but that's okay. Take my word for it. They're just going to drain the juice out into a strainer. I mean, I'm doing them in layers, but then I will stir everything together in a little bit. So first off, I got 1 can of pinto beans open on the side here. Lots of juice in those. I know you can't see, but get the majority of the juice out of there at least. There we go, 1 can done. And of course I'll have to rinse all these cans and get them into recycling after, but one step at a time here. I'm only doing these ones off camera only because I have to drain them into a strainer, and that's over by my sink, so I'm just kind of trying to get those done quickly. The rest I can just open for you right on camera, but rather than keep turning the camera back and forth, I'm just going to do these off to one side. So I think I might need to replace this can opener soon. This handle is starting to get to be a little bit more of a challenge to turn, although my hand is also a bit wet right now too, so there's that. And it doesn't help that I also have carpal tunnel in this wrist, so that also gets in the way at times. Second can is almost drained. You can hear all my birds in the background, I know. They're singing away. Well, Ruby, my African gray parrot, she tends to bark like a dog sometimes. So if it sounds like we have a dog, we don't. It's just Ruby. But she does that if her food dish is either empty or empty as far as her opinion it is, even though there might be some food in there, she just disagrees. Or else she will also do that when she simply wants attention. And she knows right now that I'm in the kitchen. She knows that she's in a different room than me, basically. She's trying to get attention. So she either wants food or attention or both. Neither of which are bad things, but it's hard enough for me to get this done and pay attention and not forget ingredients with just talking and filming. Never mind keeping an eye on her at the same time is also a big distraction. So let me get this last pinto bean drained, and then the rest of the stuff I will do right on camera, because then you can... None of this other stuff we don't need to drain. Or strain, or whichever word you'd like to use there. Okay. All right. A couple more beans in that one. I will throw them in. Look at that, everybody. All right. Now, back on camera. So what is the next layer after the pinto beans? It says to add the pinto beans and then add the corn. And then the dressing, so that would be the ranch dressing. So let me make sure there's no dust on this lid so that if I open it, I don't want to get that in there. I'm going to open my corn. It doesn't say to drain it, but I don't think there's a lot of juice in the can of corn, so I think we should be okay. Counter light it up a little bit more. Okay, that's most of the corn. A few kernels left in there. Okay. Dressing mix, or yeah, the ranch dressing. It's ranch. I know there's another recipe I have for a pot roast that calls for like dry Italian dressing, and I think ranch, and I think dry Italian dressing, dry ranch dressing, and a gravy mix. I haven't made that in a long time. I might have to do that again. Basically, you take a couple of those dressing mixes and the gravy mix and mix them together in water in a measuring cup and whisk them together, and then you add them to your, cover your pot roast with them. Okay, drained pinto beans, add corn dressing and remaining ingredients. So no other particular order, I guess. Okay. So we'll do the chili style tomatoes. Still a little bit of beef left on this guy. There. And I will sprinkle a bit of salt and pepper and garlic powder in because I didn't when I was cooking the beef. I know it won't be ingrained into the beef like it would be if I would have sauteed it like that, but it's okay. I can still add a little bit. Better late than never, right? And those aren't like essentials. They're more just like things to add a bit of flavor, which is always a good thing too. Get my tomato sauce. And you can usually serve this with like taco chips, like tortilla chips, like making a mess. Tostitos or some other type corn chip when it's said and done. Or you can also grate some cheese. Cheddar cheese is nice. And sprinkle that over the top so it kind of melts into it once it's all said and done in your bowl. You can have this just plain, or as I say, you can have some taco chips, corn chips with it, and usually some melted cheese over top, which a lot of people do when they have chili. They'll melt cheese over top. At least we do here anyway. I don't know. It might be something that's unique to location too. Like I know a lot of my subscribers are in the US, and there's certain food differences there from here that we, like there's a lot of things that we might do here that's different than you might do there, and that's okay. But as a suggestion, that's what we often do, is take like Tostitos, some type of corn chip. You can kind of dip that in the taco soup after, and you can also melt cheese on the top. And probably use the majority, a good portion of this can of these tomatoes. I don't know if I'll use all of it. I might just throw the whole thing in. Makes a nice good sized dish. Good sized crock pot of food. Harder and harder to turn that can opener. The can opener itself doesn't seem that bad now that my hands are dry again, but nonetheless, I think it's my carpal tunnel on my wrist. It's getting to be a little more of a problem lately. So, okay, so there's that. I just put the whole can in. I think you can use less, but some people probably would use less. But I decided just put the whole thing. It's just tomatoes, and it's got Italian spices in there, so it'll just be extra tomato-y, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's all about your preference. If you want the whole can in, that's fine. If you'd rather have a little bit less, that's also fine. And the taco seasoning, sprinkle that. And I'm going to stir all this together in a minute. But I'm also going to, is there some down the bottom corner there? It feels like there is. Oh yeah, thought so. Not sure. I'm not going to put a lot of salt in here, just a pinch, because there's probably a good bit of salt in some of these spices. Salt. Pepper. Probably be a little more liberal with the pepper just because probably not a lot of that in some of the spices. So I'll put a little more pepper in. And my garlic powder. Where is it? Right up here. Again, the salt, pepper, and garlic powder should have been in with the ground beef when I was cooking it, but I forgot. I got busy chatting with you guys and I forgot. That's my excuse anyway. Well, that, and I have had, since Sunday afternoon, I haven't been doing the greatest. I've had a lot of extra stress the last couple of days, and it just hasn't been an easy couple days for me. Even though I've been on days off, there's been some stress I've had to deal with, so like financial stuff, some family stuff, all the above, basically. So that is where we're at. It is on low at the moment. I'm going to turn it up to high because it is 420. So if I put it on high, possibly 3 hours on high, would take me to 7:30, 3 hours and 10 minutes, or 7:45. I do 3.5 hours on high. So I'm going to get this all mixed in, and then I'm going to cover it and let it simmer on high. And I will come back when it's all done, or at least we're close to done, and show you how it turned out. This always smells really good, but the sooner, I mean, I really should have done this sooner. I got home from working at the school about 5 after 1, and my doctor appointment by Zoom was at 1:30. I probably could have ground the ground beef then, but I hadn't eaten yet today, and I needed to sit down and get some nourishment in my body at that point, so I didn't start the ground beef. And then my appointment finished at 2:30. Actually, it was just after 2:30 today that it finished. And my daughter's appointment at the lab for her blood work was at 3:10, but they wanted us there for 3. That's a 10-minute drive, so do the math. Basically, we needed to be out of here by 2:45 to be there by 2:55 for her 3:10 appointment. That was fun. So I didn't get a chance to really do any of this. I mean, unless I had gotten up a little bit earlier this morning and started it then, which probably would have been the smart thing to do. But with the stress I've been dealing with the last few days, I just was not up to getting up early. I got up in time to get ready to go to work at the school, and that was it. I did not do anything extra. Okay. Last little bit of sauce in there. Okay, I'm going to get the lid on this guy and let her simmer for a few hours. And then I will come back once it's either finished or close to finished and show you how it looks. Wipe this one spot on the counter here. And that is it for now, I think. Now I'm going to sit down. My family is shopping, grabbing some stuff at Superstore. So I'm going to sit down and have my smoothie, my booster juice, because I've had a little bit of like chicken leftovers from around the house today to eat, but that was about all I had. So I'm going to sit down and have a snack and enjoy. They will probably be back in the next 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to have this and enjoy a little bit of quiet. It's not completely quiet because the birds are chattering, but a little bit of time to myself because I need that. The doctor appointment today really helped show me that I do need to take care of me a lot more than what I have been. And so yeah, even if I only get 15 minutes apiece to myself right now, I'm going to take it and enjoy my smoothie. And I will come back in a little while and show you how it turned out. Okay, I'm back. It is now after 7:30 in the evening, so about 7:40 just about. So this has been cooking on high in my slow cooker for a good 4 hours, a little bit more than 4 hours. And you can see it's bubbling away. It's been on high. I just turned it down to low now. I'll probably just turn it down to warm because it's more than done. And just that way it'll keep it warm, although my family probably won't be waiting to eat. They're chomping at the bit here to have this because it is a bit of a late supper this evening. But it is done and it smells very good. Unfortunately, I can't translate the smell of this through the video to you, but this is again, this is the recipe for it right here. I recapped it for you previously in the early part when I was putting it together. But so if anybody would like the actual recipe, do feel free to comment down below and I can type it up for you. Or maybe I'll type it up at some point and put it in the description. I'm not sure. But at any rate, it is 7:30. I just finished going to a lady's house off of Facebook Marketplace to get a bag of apples that she was giving away. So I guess my canning might not be done after all. I might either make them into either apple jelly or apple crisps. I'm not sure yet. But I just wanted to run out and get those quickly. So those are, just got home from getting those. And now it is time to sit down and have some of this taco soup. May end up putting some of it in the freezer if we don't eat it all, because this is quite a good size crock pot full. But this will feed us for a few meals for sure, at the very least. Anyway, that is it for now. It's time to eat and get my kitchen cleaned up. I've got laundry to fold, so I guess I will go take care of all that. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see any other cooking type videos or any other suggestions of what you would like to see for videos, do leave a comment down below. Please do give this video a thumbs up, I can't speak apparently. Thumbs up and a comment below, and subscribe if you are new, if you enjoyed this. And we will see you next time in the next video. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video. I'm not sure exactly when that will be. It might be when I put the fall decor out sometime this week, or it might be on Friday after I do my groceries for a grocery haul. But either way, we'll see you in a few days. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.